Yes, sir, back here.
The lawyers last night talked about their discussions with Koresh and Schneider and haven't indicated what the content of that. There were some hints, though. They said something regarding talking to witnesses, looking at the scene. Now they are in a very unusual position to have been able to see the scene of the crime, to be able to talk to the witness, to the people inside before they have ever been arrested. Is that one of the reasons why you're not going to let an army of lawyers go in there? I mean, is there some concern with the, I mean, that's a very savvy strategy for them to be able to go in and have this much advanced information before an arrest, much less before a trial.
The question was, the attorneys had a chance to see the crime scene or some part thereof. Is that one reason we won't allow an army of attorneys in there? There are several reasons. The attorneys who were allowed in there because we thought this might lead to a peaceful resolution of this situation. We're under no obligation to allow them or any other attorneys in, and there are no plans at this time to do so. We haven't seen the crime scene either, so we don't know what's there.
The second part of that question is, though, is that going to cause you some concern with their advanced knowledge prior to trial, or are you sufficiently satisfied that those...
Well, Judge, the question is, will that cause us concern prior to trial? It could, I suppose, however, we deemed it appropriate to do so to get these people out unharmed. So when you do this, you weigh one action against the other to try and resolve this. That's the first issue, is to get particularly the children, to get them out unharmed. Yes, ma'am.
This may be technical, but we keep talking about them picking up the phone and calling their lawyers. You guys still control the phone lines, as I recall. Has some mechanism been set up so that if they do pick up the phone and try to reach their lawyers, you can put them through without... Has some separate mechanism been set up?
Yes. The question is, if they reach out to their attorneys, they have to come through us. I think the question basically is, can they do that without us hearing what they say? Yes. Yes. We would not jeopardize a case by listening into a privileged conversation. It would be very foolish of us to do so. Yes, sir.
At some point last week, I think, we heard that to Mr. Koresh, we were somewhere in the 5th of the 7 seals. Has Koresh given any indication of where Passover falls into those seals?
The question is, Koresh said he was into the 5th of the 7 seals, and has he given some indication where Passover fits? I don't know. He could be in the 7th seal when he says the world will come to an end. Maybe he's in the 5th seal. Maybe Passover's next week, and maybe it's the week after. It's whatever he wants it to be. His interpretation of the traditional Christian and Jewish holidays is certainly not what the rest of us think they might be. So this man who we want for murdering federal officers is going to go on and on saying these things. So whatever he says is, but we don't know. We don't know what he really thinks.
Another question of the timeline, since you're obviously not privy to the conversations between the attorneys and their clients inside the compound. I mean, how long are you going to wait before you get the sense that perhaps Koresh is jerking around the attorneys the same way he's kind of jerked around the federal negotiators, and you just kind of bring an end to it and say, look, we got to do something else here. This isn't working either.
The question is, how long will we wait if we decide that Koresh is making a fool of the attorneys or fooling them as he's played with us, frankly. We will do what we have to do in our own time. We will make whatever tactical decisions we have to make when we think the timing is appropriate. But we are patient people. We have FBI agents here and ATF agents from all over the country. And we're prepared to sit here and do what we have to do to resolve this in a peaceful manner. And we can outlast them. Yes, ma'am, over here.
Did you get any further sense, either from the attorneys last night or from other sources, that how David Koresh's health will impact what's going on? Will that be a part?
The question is, will David Koresh's health, and I assume by that you mean his wounds, impact what's going on? I think I have heard, as you have heard, that he is slightly impaired by his wounds, that maybe he got up too soon and re-injured himself. We do not think, obviously, that he is in any mortal danger. He's quite capable of talking and preaching for long periods of time. David Koresh has his own agenda, whatever that might be. When it suits David Koresh's purposes, he'll take some action. We can't really predict that. Yes, sir.
Do you still think that his intent is to end this violently? You think that's...
The question is, do we still think his intent is to end this violently? I hope not. We don't know. Obviously, he has shown a capacity for great violence, firing on federal officers, wounding 16 and killing 4. So that potential is there, and we have taken every precaution to ensure that there are no casualties to our forces and hopefully to the people inside that compound. Yes, the potential for violence is there. We hope to avoid it. In the back, way in the back.
Last night the attorneys told us they're going to get the phone call and they're going to go in and bring everybody out. Does that jive with you?
The question is, the attorneys state that they're going to get the phone call and they're going to go in and bring everybody out. That'd be fine. We don't care. If the attorneys can go in and bring them out, God bless them. We're not so sure that will happen, but that would be an ideal solution.
Have they discussed that with you?
The question is, have they discussed that with us? I really can't comment on our discussions with the attorneys. That gets into the realm of tactics.
One more question.